Hello everybody, my name's Adam Pachizzi and I'm from Cultaholic.com, and this is my uninspired news video intro because it's 4:30 in the morning right now and I can't be bothered to write any jokes. Let's take a look at the headline, shall we? A WWE Performance Center trainee has tested positive for the virus. The original plans for Edge vs Randy Orton have been revealed, and which former WWE superstar turned down an offer to return at WrestleMania. We'll tell you who in a bit. So, kicking things off with some rather troubling news indeed, a WWE Performance Center trainee has tested positive for the virus. You know which virus we're talking about, but you also know that I can't say the name of the virus because we're on YouTube and we'll get demonetized. But I think you've probably heard of it. It's been in the news a fair bit in recent months. So this is somebody who has been attending the Performance Center tapings in recent weeks, but hasn't been there since June the 9th. That was last Tuesday. WWE have released the following statement. Their Associate Medical Director, Dr. Jeffrey Dugas, saying the following. A developmental talent who was last on site at WWE's training facility on Tuesday the 9th has tested positive. Since that time, no other individuals that attended the facility have reported symptoms. However, it's obviously worth noting that you don't necessarily get symptoms straight away, of course, and also some people just don't get symptoms at all. He continues, however, out of an abundance of caution and to ensure the health and safety of the company's performers and staff, all talent, production crew and employees on site at the training and production facilities will be tested immediately. This is something that WWE have faced a fair bit of criticism for, the fact that routine testing hasn't really been taking place. So that is finally happening. And finally says, following the test results, WWE plans to proceed with its normal television production schedule. So they're very keen to make it clear that they are going to continue with TV. This hopefully won't affect their TV output. This is a trainee, not somebody on NXT, but it's somebody that is believed to have been in the crowd. And just because of the close proximity at which those wrestlers, and tonight friends and family of the wrestlers apparently, just because they've been so very close, it's not unreasonable to assume that this could have very, very easily been transmitted. And you know, the Performance Center, I've been there. It's not a massive place, right? And I would imagine backstage at all these things, they're still also in pretty close proximity, not just to each other, but also to the people who are on the show, to the Raw and SmackDown superstars, and NXT, sorry. So this is very, very troubling indeed. This is, it was always, I guess, fairly likely to happen, just because it spreads so easily, and this could really make a mess of things for WWE. If this is spread further, if this is spread to talent, production staff, whatever, this could make things very, very difficult. But it's one of those things where time will tell. This happened on the 9th, a week or so ago, and it'll take a while before those symptoms start to appear if people have contracted the virus. So we'll see, but this could be really, really disastrous for WWE. Not just from being able to produce their weekly TV shows and upcoming pay-per-views and all that, but from a PR standpoint as well. It sounds like I'm sort of, concentrating on the wrong things almost, because the health and safety of the performers and staff obviously takes paramount. However, it perhaps hasn't taken paramount, and if a significant number of people end up testing positive, then that is going to be dreadful PR for WWE. They've faced so much criticism for the fact that they're continuing to produce their TV show, and this could make things a hell of a lot worse. So yeah, time will tell. Praying for everybody there, of course. But yeah, we'll keep you updated on this story. Next up, we have a little bit more info on the original plans for Randy Orton versus Edge. Obviously, that happened on Sunday night. It was the greatest match ever. It was really good. It was a really, really good match. But it wasn't originally planned to take place at Backlash. Gary Cassidy from Sportskeeda tweeting, unsure if this is already known, but I've been told Edge vs Randy Orton was brought forward to SummerSlam due to the lack of star power available to WWE for Backlash. The decision was made due to Roman Reigns, Bray Wyatt, Brock Lesnar and Becky Lynch being unavailable. And you know what? It did need that match, didn't it? You look at the quality of the card. First of all, I will say that actually I think almost everyone performed really, really well on the night. And the matches, the pay-per-view as a whole, was far better than any of us thought it was going to be. But you look at this, the quality of the card on paper, and it was like, man, this is the weakest match card in recent memory. It was that bad. And they needed something like Edge versus Orton. They needed some big names on there with the lack of availability of the other big names, the people that couldn't be there, that we've just mentioned. He also noted that WWE didn't originally plan to bill Edge versus Orton as the greatest wrestling match ever, but Vince thought it would be a good way to boost the star power of the pay-per-view as a whole, which I guess makes sense, but it didn't do them any favours, did it? It didn't do them any favours. The fact that it's going to be remembered more for the tagline than what a great match it actually was, and there are people who are upset because it wasn't the greatest match ever. Of course it wasn't. But it was a really, really good wrestling match, and I just think Vince has done him a little bit dirty with that. But yeah, interesting to see. We'll talk a little bit more about where that feud might be going. Obviously, WWE confirming that Edge has undergone surgery, so don't expect to see him anytime soon. But some very interesting developments on Raw tonight. And now we're going to talk about the man who made his in-ring return, sort of, on Raw. Welcome back, Christian. For a bit. So yes, the rumours were true. It actually happened. Captain Charisma making his in-ring return, if you can call it that, on tonight's Raw, which I think was a great, great episode. I'll leave Tom and Ross to talk about it on Graded and WTF respectively. But it was a really great show. And Christian appearing, I'm sure you know all about this, just in case you've already seen it, so I'll keep it really, really brief. I'll just give you a quick rundown here. Randy Orton cutting a promo at the beginning of the show. Out comes Christian to confront Randy Orton about his actions at Backlash and all that. And it ended up with Randy Orton challenging Christian to an unsanctioned match. Christian didn't know what to say at the beginning, but midway through the show in a backstage promo, he said, yes, I'm going to do it. Let's fast forward to the end of the night. Christian comes out. He's ready to go. He's all taped up. The bell rings. Out comes Ric Flair. What's he doing here? Bang, low blow, punt kick, and the show ends with Randy Orton Christian laid out and Randy Orton over his prone body, just saying, I didn't want to do that. You made me do that. It's not my fault, and all that sort of stuff. It was fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. This was technically Christian's first WWE match, even though it was unsanctioned, since 2014. It's been a while. What does this mean for the bigger picture, for the story moving forward? Obviously, we're not going to be able to see Edge anytime soon. You've got to believe that they're going to do a third match in the series. The blow-off match, that should be great. Was the original plan for that? Well, obviously the second match was meant to happen at SummerSlam. Who knows if that was being scheduled for maybe a Saudi Arabia show or something like that. We will get there, but this is just essentially another chapter in the story. I don't think this signifies an in-ring return proper for Christian. This was essentially, it was an angle, of course, more than a match. But it was great, and it was really, really good for Christian to get, I guess, a little bit of closure on his WWE career, maybe. Helping out with what has been a really compelling story. And because the retirement of Christian, it was so unceremonious, wasn't it? It always felt like such a shame, and then like, it just sort of happened, and then a few years later he was like, yeah, I'm retired. I was like, oh, okay, that's what it is. So this was really, really good to see, and I think it was a really effective angle. I would suggest that, we're not going to get a Randy Orton versus Christian match, but who knows? Stranger things have happened. I used to be so pessimistic on these things. I'd say, that's never going to happen. Edge returning to WWE, but 2020 is a weird year, isn't it? In many, many ways. So who knows? You'll know as soon as we do. Would I like to see another Christian match? If he's good to go, yeah. I think he's great. Obviously, it's Christian. And you've got to believe that sooner rather than later as well, Christian is going to be going in the Hall of Fame too. Maybe this was just a way to advertise him, and Hall of Fame's been pushed back. Add him to the bloody Hall of Fame card. Why not? I like him. I like Christian a lot. Let's move on. And finally, we are finishing with the news that a former WWE star recently turned down the offer of coming back to the company. We are talking about the former Wade Barrett. Stu Bennett talking to the Wrestling Inc. Daily Podcast, confirming that there was interest from WWE. This follows Darren Young previously revealing that there was interest from WWE, he said that it was something to do with WrestleMania access and something to do with the fan convention that obviously didn't happen due to the ongoing pandemic. And it was believed that that was it. Maybe some kind of network special or something like that. It appears that Stu Bennett might be talking about something else. Maybe it is the same thing. Anyway, he said in this interview, he was called in January or February before the whole pandemic broke out by the talent relations team in WWE about something they wanted to do to coincide with the 10th anniversary of the Nexus. He said, I actually turned it down. I didn't like the offer or the plan. So it's unclear as to what they were offering. It sounds like a one-shot thing, right? I don't think this was a match or anything like that. This might have just been, as I say, a network special or an appearance. The one thing I was thinking of, it would have been a really, really good callback in the Firefly Funhouse match with John Cena, obviously with like the NWO heel stuff. I think that would have been even more effective if they had touched upon John Cena's perceived burial of the Nexus at SummerSlam. I think that would have been really effective. Maybe it was that. That's just me speculating. He continued, in all honesty, if it had been something more significant, I would have paid it more attention, but it was something to me that I wasn't interested in doing. There was no benefit at all for me in doing it, and I wasn't excited about it, so I turned the offer down. There you go. There you go. I guess an interesting note on this is obviously Stu Bennett is doing stuff for NWA at the moment, so it appears that he is free to do other bits in wrestling, so never say never. This could happen. And yeah, it's a bit of a shame. A Nexus reunion would have been lovely. It would have been lovely. So maybe that WrestleMania Access thing, if Stu wasn't interested, and that happened more recently, maybe they were going to do a Nexus reunion at Access and photo ops or whatever without Stu Bennett, which would have been a little bit weird, maybe, but there you go. There you go. I wish they had done something a little bit more. Like, I saw the tweets that they put out, and they were, celebrating the 10-year anniversary of the debut of the Nexus and all that. But that was about it. And a Nexus documentary, a bit of original content would be really fascinating. It really, really would, especially if you've got Cena talking about it. But there you go. Stu Bennett. I guess don't expect to see him on WWE TV anytime soon either. I'm going to go to bed now because it's about 4:30 in the morning. It's not, it's 5 in the morning now. Good, I'm going to get to bed. Thank you very much to everyone for tuning into the Raw stream tonight. I hope you're all well. I will see you soon.